Hello and welcome. I'm Andrew, and this is Marissa, and this is another episode of the Dugout Podcast. And, well, last week, Marissa said that we were supposed to cancel the episode or cancel the podcast altogether because she felt as though there was a correlation between the results of Liverpool and Chelsea this season.
And you ain't changing my mind on that.
Well, that's your business. But Liverpool has won this weekend. So, the proof is in the pudding. There's no correlation.
Chelsea lost though.
Well,
And I sure your exact message to me, let me pull it up. Your exact message to me after that game was...
Chelsea in the mid.
No, your message me after Chelsea game. You know better.
Oh, wait, tell you. After
I'm
Liverpool
trying to
game.
find it.
Oh.
Oh, gosh.
I don't actually recall message you after Liverpool game, though.
You did, because I messaged you.
Uh-huh.
Hey, I can't find your message.
Because it wasn't quite in there.
Look, don't make me shameful.
You imagine that. You put
Nah, I find it. Come here. Wait, I can't find it. What date was Sunday?
Who knows?
Today's the 8th. Yesterday was the 7th. The 6th. I can't find it.
Listen, as a school teacher, right? This is go in and out. You don't remember. You remember weeks.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Trust me. Handing out the board. Weeks. Whatever it is, her name is Blake.
Mm-hmm.
Today's the what again? Seriously, it happens.
Good for you.
But yeah.
Good.
You find your message?
It. Yes.
Okay.
So I messaged you and say I'm two out of 3 with predictions today, by the way. So you might win this to give me a clean sweep.
Mm.
So then after the game, you replay. You remember the message now?
No way, said.
Pool no clay on for their life.
Yeah, Pool came on, but it's truth. Pool came on for their life.
So my point is, Liverpool still struggling, even though you get a win.
Anyhow, we're back. We're back again. We're back again. Be thankful.
Yeah.
Be happy.
Sure.
Let's get into it.
Sure.
Right, and we're gonna start with Chelsea Arsenal.
How dare you?
Chelsea Arsenal.
How dare you? That's not the order of the agenda you say.
Don't worry about the order. Listen,
You're so wicked,
I said that this week we're gonna try things spontaneous. We're
You
gonna
wicked.
mix it up.
Just admit that you wicked.
We're gonna shuffle it up. No, like you got pack of cards and shuffling. And since you were all riled up, I think we need to bring this energy to the Chelsea Liverpool discussion.
Nah, I ain't bringing it back now.
Okay, so you can do it however you want to do it. What were your thoughts on the game? Tell me your assessment, man. What went wrong at the bridge?
I ain't talking about what went wrong at the bridge. I'm gonna give Jackie. Arsenal were very good. Chelsea were very poor, and Arsenal were very good. Ain't much more to say than that.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, I could go into detail, but
The audience want you to go into detail. It's not really about me,
look,
the audience.
as I said last week, I knew that we weren't gonna win this game. I don't know how you were so confident in a 2-0, but I know my side, and I know how Chelsea has been versus Arsenal at the bridge, especially over the last few seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had a feeling that we weren't going to do anything like special in this game. But to see how poor we were, it was just, you can't put it down in a derby.
Mm.
Like, I think that was the most disappointing thing. For me, Arsenal are way ahead. I don't like to use the words process and projects or whatever, but for the purposes of this discussion, I will.
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal are way ahead in their project and in their process. They're a team that is under a manager, that has been under a manager for the last 3 and a bit seasons. They're well drilled. They know what they're doing. We are a side who've been under one manager for 2 months and how many other managers over the last few years. And you can see that. I usually don't, when I turn on the stream, I was using BT Sports stream, and when I heard Jeremy and Genius, I like to switch off because I really, personally, I'm not a fan of his commentary. But before I switched off, he did say something really interesting. He was like, you could see the difference in Arsenal and Chelsea where every pass we make, it needs to be overthought. Whereas you look at Arsenal's general play and their passing is like almost instinctive. They know exactly what they're doing, and we are not. We are still getting accustomed to how we're supposed to be playing under this new manager. So you saw that at the bridge. You saw a team that is in very much a transition phase like Chelsea are, and you saw a well-drilled team that knows exactly what they're doing in Arsenal. I thought that, again, I told you this before we started this season started, actually, when I told you I felt like Chelsea's problem area is midfield. You didn't agree, but I still stick to it. We have a serious problem in midfield. Would I have started Loftus-Cheek in midfield? No. I think Kovacic would have been a better option, but I know that Kovacic is not 100% fit.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're trying to look after him. But I just felt like our midfield was poor. And you could look at our chance creation over the whole season. Our chance creation is one of the lowest in the league. The forwards were poor. I mean, Kai Havertz was... Oh my gosh. There were 2 opportunities Havertz had in the first half and made the wrong decision both times. And that's why I always say, I feel like players just don't seem to understand that talent can only take you so far. You have to have good decision making on the ball. Like, this was in the first half. 33 minutes, my stream stick.
Mm-hmm.
My stream stayed at the point where, I don't know if you remember the chance, but Havertz was in the box.
Mm-hmm.
There was one Arsenal defender and there was Aubameyang.
Mm-hmm.
My stream stuck at that moment. I tell myself, can I trust Havertz to square this ball to Aubameyang? Because Aubameyang would have had a tap in. When my stream cut back and I see the replay, Havertz went for some weak tail shot. And obviously, I think that was the only save Ramsdale made the whole game. So we were really, really bad. But again, I had made it in my mind when I came here today that I would not dwell necessarily on Chelsea's mistakes and Chelsea's poor play, but I would give Arsenal their due. Arsenal were really good. They didn't allow us to play. I felt like the only time we really looked threatening was when maybe Arsenal had a few lapses at the back early on in the second half. But they were great and they were full value for the win. I'm surprised they didn't get at least 2 or 3 more.
That's it?
Yes.
Okay. I just make sure you're done.
Nah, you got the look on your face that you're just ready to roll me right now.
No.
So that's exactly why I just looking at
I
you
was
right
simply making certain that you were finished. So I can have my turn. Okay. You could do all the you want. That's all it was.
All right.
Right? I come with the most purest of agendas.
Right.
Okay. So I'll start with Chelsea. Right? It's interesting. I keep on hearing people speak, well, Chelsea fans rather, that I speak to, speaking about personnel decisions and, would they start this boy here or would they start somebody else there? And I don't know, I more look at it as a tactical issue. I think y'all had a plan to begin the game. It seemed like y'all were trying to play out using the fullbacks, using wing backs rather. So I remember most of the time,
but we play a back four.
We all play a back four? I look about for me. But, okay, so if it was about 4 nevertheless, but remember that Chalobah and Thiago Silva split, right? Well, yeah, it might have been about 4. But anyway, Chalobah and Thiago Silva would have split. So I was right initially because I said fullbacks. But anyway, and then you had Menu play the ball to Chalobah. Chalobah feed the ball into Aspilicueta, and I remember the plan seemed to be Sterling to come short, or whoever on that side come short, and lay the ball into the arm, come in midfield, and then play the ball forward into the centre forward. But that wasn't working due to Arsenal's press. So then it seemed because y'all weren't able to work that passing pattern effectively due to Arsenal's press, y'all then had to go long and go be top. So that's when he sub came in the second half and he brought on Broja for Aubameyang. And Broja tried to hold the ball up, but the problem was that it was oftentimes 1 versus 2 or 1 versus 3. So he wasn't able to do it successfully. And I think that was the issue. But like you said, you have to give Arsenal credit. Arsenal played well. They passed the ball well. They got lucky in a few moments because they had a few, touches that I don't think Chelsea would, like you said, derby. I don't think Chelsea was as aggressive as they should have been. They seemed to be really lackluster in their approach.
Which is strange. You're playing Arsenal. You're playing London rivals who are at the top of the table. Who probably has their biggest gap points wise on you in years. Right. Like, that's not enough fire without a coach team talk. That's not enough fire in you to say, look, we gotta go out there. Like that fire we had against Spurs, when everybody was talking about Spurs as potential title challengers and all that nonsense. And like Carragher said, he felt, and this was his comments at the beginning of the game, he felt like Chelsea would turn up today to show, you know what, we still around, we're still the best club in London. Where was that in this game? Which is
what I said last week when I predicted that y'all would win. I said I felt as though your big player was standing, right?
But I tell you, I know my team better than you.
Yeah, I ain't about knowing your team.
All right.
I ain't about knowing your team necessarily.
But I know
I just felt that you guys would have gone a response. But anyway, it's neither here or there, right? I have no interest in knowing Chelsea better than you, obviously.
Oh Lord.
But the point I'm making is that when that failed, it then seemed to be kind of haphazard in terms of the plan because they start playing a lot of long balls up, and then oftentimes the long balls were aimless.
Exactly.
Right. So to me it was more a case where Arsenal's tactics press stifled you and stopped you from doing what you want to do. And then, like I said, Arsenal played well, yes, but then there were moments where, for example, if Chelsea would have been more aggressive in their defending, a more committed to challenge and winning second balls or what's not, y'all could have nicking the ball in one possession. There were times where party and people were guilty of heavy touches and it seemed to be a lack of conviction amongst the Chelsea players.
But I will also say too, in addition to that, because I agree with that point, but I will also say too, it's also difficult to do that when the ref is giving Arsenal every 50-50 call. Like, I saw somebody on Twitter say, like, not every challenge is a foul. And it felt like every time you barely blow on an Arsenal player, they would be on the ground.
Right.
Like, Saka, I think the commentator said it too. Saka and Cucurella had something going.
Right.
And Cucurella probably did like a shoulder to shoulder, side to side, whatever. Saka didn't get it.
Yeah, I remember. And
he got it and kicked Cucurella, basically.
I remember that.
So my thing is that the commentator was like, when he looked back at the Saka challenge, you're not gonna get it all the time. Right. And my thing is that those are the type of challenges when Chelsea did try to be a little bit more intense with their challenges, the ref will always give a foul in other directions, which was a little bit annoying. I'm not saying that to excuse it, because at the end of the day, it's still a London derby. But I found the referee didn't really have the greatest game. For instance, that yellow, you saw Azpilicueta's yellow card?
I think I saw it, but I don't remember it. But
basically, he won the ball. Martinelli kicked Azpilicueta.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Roll around, like he gets shoot, and Azpilicueta get but for what was actually a fair challenge. So because
it was more Martinelli kicked into Azpilicueta
exactly.
as opposed to the other way around.
So then, when that happened, was like, I would not be surprised if Azpi gets sent off in this game because of that. But luckily, he didn't. But my point is, I'm not blaming the referee, because at the end of the day, I said at the beginning, Arsenal were full value for the win. But sometimes it's difficult for a team to go 100% full-blooded when you feel like the referee just giving everything to the other team, and you just getting yellow cards at will. That is just how I felt about it. That's just the other side of the coin. But I still believe, regardless of that, you still gotta be more there still needs to be more intensity in your play. And like that first 5 minutes was just like, honestly, it reminded me of just how we started at Brighton last week. Just off the pace, poor passing, lack of ideas. The pattern was set from there to beginning, to be honest. And it was like
I said, I think y'all had a initial plan, which, like I said, work the ball down the right hand side, because it seemed to be coming down the right hand side more than the left. They were all trying to get hope, but it just wasn't working. Arsenal's press was really good. Nevertheless, though, that's essentially my thoughts on that game. But yeah, go ahead.
I just have two questions for you. One is pertaining to the game, and one is pertaining to what I think you want to talk about, which I think is Arsenal in the title, right? Okay. So my first question is, Rio Ferdinand made some comments. You saw them?
No.
Okay. So he was really impressed with Arsenal. They played well. But there needs to be a caveat in that Chelsea had a number of first-team players missing.
Right.
What do you think about that?
I agree, because, like, to me, I feel as though if you had your first choice personnel there, Kante, for example, Kovacic from the start, maybe, I feel as though you would have the plan that you all were trying to implement. I feel that might have made a difference if you all had better players in the mid. To use it. So I felt that I came away from the game, because I think I said to someone, I think it was Shamari, I said to him, my message was Chelsea need a mid. And I didn't mean in terms of need a midfielder as a player. I didn't mean it just collectively.
Yes,
yeah,
I agree.
That was my takeaway from it.
Even though I tell you so weeks ago, but at least you know punny train.
Anyhow, I'm punny train. Chelsea does not interest me at all.
Whatever.
But anyhow, Arsenal title, right?
Let me ask you a question first before you go into it.
Right.
Before we get to whether they're in a title race or not, what do you think has been the biggest reason for this form? Because remember, this is largely, with the addition of Zinchenko and Jesus,
right?
This is largely the same team and squad that was there last season when they bottled top four.
Right.
So what do you think is responsible? One, is it the fact that, the Arteta has been given time by the board to implement his ideas and they're finally coming to fruition? What do you think it is that is responsible for this quite remarkable turnaround, you have to say?
I think some of the young players are a year older, more experienced.
Right.
Saka, Odegaard, the same Gabriel at the back. I think they're a year older. Martinelli. Okay, I think they had a very clean fixture list as well, to be honest, for the most part, at least at the start. But let me give them the jacket. They did beat Liverpool. They have beaten Chelsea. But like you said, mitigating factors. They have beaten Chelsea, who are suffering from an injury crisis in certain areas of the team. And they have beaten Liverpool in a bit of a transition as well. Not taking anything. You can only beat one in front of you.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Right.
So, whether it is Arteta being given time, I think that played a role. I think maybe there's a greater understanding of from the players, at least in terms of what he's trying to do, and maybe I think wins also comes an increase in belief as well. I think that has played a role.
Yeah.
So, I think that's essentially it. I think that, to be honest, so they've played teams like they beat Spurs as well. Yeah, I think they won the North London Derby.
That game seems like a blur. But yeah.
That. So I mean, like, they've beaten names, but have they beaten the team at the best version of themselves? Where we say, okay, this team is also in the race, or this team is,
That's a good point.
So I mean, like I said, you can only beat what's in front of you. Like, I don't be looking at these things when Liverpool beat somebody and the bad. It's what it is.
Yeah, you gotta give credit.
Yeah, so I mean, give credit to Arsenal. I have been impressed with their start. I think the one thing that has gone off their game this season so far has been
mistakes.
Stupid mistakes, and you drop points against teams that they're expected to beat. They're winning more of those games so far, with the exception, I think, 2 draws. I think one was against Southampton and somebody else they drew with earlier in the season, and maybe. So, but to answer your question about title race, that's what's coming next, right? Yeah, they're in the title race. Arsenal are in the title race. I didn't think I'll be saying that this season, but Arsenal are in the title race. We've played 13 games, is it?
Or 14.
Or 14. Yeah, so Arsenal are in the title race. They're leading the league, 2 points ahead of City. And you have to say what it is. At this stage of the season, they're in the title race. I think people's issue or apprehension is, can we take them seriously as a legit title contender over the duration of 38 games? Will they be there at the end? Only time will tell. But at this stage, they've given themselves a hell of a platform. Like I said, I expect that they will stay in the top 4. It'd be a remarkable collapse if they drop out. So I don't see that happening. But with the World Cup mid-season or what's not, you never know what can happen. Because the one thing about the World Cup that it will allow is for teams to get a rest period. The ones who are not involved, but the players who are not involved in that World Cup, it will be an opportunity for players to regain fitness. And I'm more sure, for example, I'm sure other teams are doing this as well. I heard Liverpool has a mini camp during the World Cup where they go somewhere and
Chelsea is going to Dubai.
Right,
I think
exactly.
you're going to Dubai too.
Exactly. So I think it's going to give people an opportunity to work on some things and hopefully be in better form in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how Arsenal reacts to like anybody else, like everybody else. It could be a case where the same old story and Liverpool and other teams continue to struggle.
Yeah.
Or it could be a case where teams find form and get closer, and a lot of different things can happen. But right now, yes, Arsenal are in the title race, and deservedly so.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking too. The World Cup is like this great unknown, and it's like we don't know what's gonna happen to any side after the World Cup. Whether teams are gonna find it hard to pick up the momentum they had going in, whether it'll be a fresh start for some teams. I know for Chelsea specifically, with the exception of maybe Chilwell, because he got injured last week. We should really not play here in November Champions League fixtures though. But anyways, I know for Chelsea, we're going to have most of our injury table back after the World Cup. I see this madness about Reece might be fit in 3 weeks, and that's giving Southgate a dilemma. I beg Southgate to leave on Reece James because honestly, I think that he just rushing back for the World Cup and he might make that injury worse. But story for another time. But I think that with most of our important starters back, you may see a different Chelsea, or you might see the same lackluster nonsense. But it's a great unknown. But back to Arsenal, I do believe I told you it was only thanks and asked me in a few weeks. It's been a few weeks.
Right.
I think right at this moment in time, yes, they are in a title race. They're playing really well. I think for me the big difference is what I said at the beginning, is that they're a side that not only knows what they're doing, knows each other well, but they're a confident side.
Mm-hmm.
They're a very confident side. And again, I don't want Arsenal fans to think that I'm taking anything away from them. But you see that those first 5 games that they had where they played very beatable teams.
Right.
It gave them the opportunity to
build
gain
build
confidence
momentum.
and momentum. To say, look, we could do this though. And I think that's a big thing in football.
Yeah.
But you can only beat what in front of you. But they've been impressive. I've been impressed. I think one of the keys for them is Thomas Partey being fit. He was injured at a point in the season, but luckily for them, that came in that period where the Queen passed and a lot of fixtures were delayed, so it really didn't affect them that much.
Right.
So I think having Partey fit has been key for them. And I think Jesus has been a fantastic signing for Arsenal. I think it's not only about the goals, his work rate is excellent, and I think he gives them something else that they didn't have in Aubameyang or in Nketiah or in Lacazette last season.
Well, he's a better player than Nketiah and Lacazette for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Aubameyang
works harder than Aubameyang.
Yeah, he probably more fits into their style.
Right,
of what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like a stationary number 9.
Exactly.
He's a mobile,
Exactly.
rotating mobile forward, so to speak. So I mean,
yeah.
Like you said, Arsenal are in the race, deservedly so. I think the reason that Arsenal are not favorites for a title at this point in time, because in my opinion, it's better to be first than second or third. Yeah. You rather be in front.
Yeah.
The only reason that Arsenal are not favorites is because of the magnificence of Manchester City.
Exactly.
And what we expect City to continue to do, which is that we expect City will win the majority of their fixtures.
Right.
Meaning, since we have not, because this is the first time Arsenal has been in this position for a while.
Yeah.
So being as we have not seen that from this generation of Arsenal players, is why we are so, tipping. Well, most people are tipping City to ultimately triumph.
Yeah.
And expecting that Arsenal will somehow fall away at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, that's left to be seen.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But yeah, definitely right now at this stage of the season, I would say it appears to be a 2-horse, battle between Arsenal and City. But there's a long way to go yet.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So with that said, let's switch focus.
Here comes the big grin.
Wait. So
I just want to say, you didn't even give me my pat on the back.
About what?
Last week, I predicted an Arsenal win, a Manchester United loss, and a Liverpool win. 3 out of 3 on Super Sunday.
Okay.
You're welcome.
I'm happy to see that you're getting better.
Oh, again, better. Okay. But you're learning.
I
I honestly, legitimately, and this is going to lead you right into the Liverpool Spurs game. I don't know how you can possibly look at how Spurs have been playing lately and think that they were going to beat you. I know you've seen how your side is playing, but I've seen both of them, and I'm not a fan of either. So I watch it from an objective perspective. I never for 1 minute thought that Spurs was going to beat Liverpool in this game. Never for 1 minute.
Before a ball was kicked.
Before a ball was kicked. I've seen how Spurs have been playing lately, and I just, come on, if I tip Newcastle to beat them at home, which they did, there was no way that they were going to beat you. There was no way. I mean, and I see that you had on the agenda to talk about Spurs' pragmatic approach, and we could do that.
Right.
But do you want to do that after you discuss your thoughts on the game, or?
No, we could do that first.
Okay.
Because since you start with Spurs, right? So let's put focus on Spurs for a moment. We don't have a touch Liverpool. Because the only thing that I would say about Liverpool, and as justification for why I wasn't sure about that result, Liverpool have been bad. Really, really bad. Really, really inconsistent. So if Liverpool get 30 good minutes, then get about, another 30 bad ones. So in terms of in games, Liverpool have not been themselves, and that's a game that, I haven't watched a game. It was a game that Liverpool could have easily at least drawn rather than win in the end.
But let me flip it on you
go
now.
ahead.
Liverpool have been bad in your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Spurs have been just as bad, but they've been getting results. That's the only.
Which
Honestly,
is a
that's
good
the
trend.
only difference
But listen,
between the two.
part of being a good side is winning when you're not playing well.
Agreed,
So I can't take that away
but
from them.
there's a huge element of luck involved in that too. A
Yeah.
huge element of luck.
Right?
Like, I think the most convincing I've seen Spurs was when they beat Southampton 4-0.
Right.
First game in season.
Right.
There was another game in there too, but
But
other
here's
than
the thing.
that,
What do we interpret to be convincing? Because I could have a convincing 1-0.
agree.
So what do we interpret?
Their general play.
Okay,
Let me
general
use
play, okay.
let me use the game that I promised the game that I promised my prediction on was the game against Marseille.
Mhm.
Now, I get it. You're away at a European side. You only really need a point to go through.
Mhm.
And, you're not going to be expansive. You're not going to go there and try to smash the team and end up giving 2 goals in the other direction. I get that. My problem with Spurs is they only play when they're behind.
Mhm.
2-0 down against Bournemouth. They get a 3-2 at the end. I think, what was that game where Kane had that last minute winner chalked off? Was that
was
Frankfurt?
a Champions League game. I think.
Yeah, was it
or
Frankfurt?
Lisbon? I can't remember.
Somebody.
Yeah,
I think it was for Lisbon for real.
Yeah, Lisbon. Yeah.
Again, I think they went 1-0 down in that game too.
Yeah, they did.
It's like, and I think in one of the Champions League ties, they went 1-0 down against Frankfurt. It's like, they start off with this ultra pragmatic approach,
Right.
and it's not that they're particularly solid defensively either to be able to keep a clean sheet, and then they only start playing when they go behind. This game against Liverpool, 2-0 down at halftime. Within the first 30 seconds of the second half, they got their first corner of the game because they're actually on the front foot and playing. That's how their goal came, on the front foot and playing. Although, granted, Salah should have made it 3-0 at the other end before Kane scored.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like Spurs only play when they're behind, and I don't get it. I felt like Conte set up from the beginning. I personally do not like 3-5-2 as a formation, especially when you do not have a creative type midfielder in there. 3-5-2 screams defensive. 3-5-2 screams you want to make sure you keep a clean sheet first and foremost, which is okay. And then you're relying on Harry Kane magic, but Harry Kane can't service himself.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, Kulusevski was fit enough to come on in the second half. He had an immediate impact. But my thing is, was he not fit enough to at least play for the first 60 minutes? I just think that Conte is setting up Spurs ultra pragmatically, and then this team only starts playing when they're behind the 8 ball. And I don't get it. They have the players. They have the manager, although the instructions probably coming from him. I don't get it. So then having watched Spurs, I was like, I believe once Liverpool don't have to be at their best. And let's face it, they weren't defensively at their best on Sunday. But y'all don't need to be at your best to beat Spurs in this current run of form. That is just how I see it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, first thing first, it's easy to say, for example, that Spurs only start playing when they go behind, but that's what you need to do. Because if you go behind, you need to get behind the game by finding a goal.
Right.
So that's like neither here or there, to me at least. I have not seen. Well, sorry, I've seen Spurs this season. Have I seen a lot of them? No.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, though. The games that I saw the game against Arsenal. Saw my game against them. And I saw them play against somebody else this season, too.
You watched the Chelsea Spurs game.
Right, and I watched the Chelsea Spurs game. Exactly. Okay, they were second best against Chelsea. But I feel like the problem is not so much that because I can't fathom that Conte is sending them out there and saying, we can be ultra defensive or we can not try to score a goal, whatever the case would be. I just simply think that is a case where the other team is able to implement their style or their game in the first half than behind on Spurs. I think because, like, for example,
all the time.
It seems so, but like, for example, on Sunday, Spurs weren't that bad to me in the first half. Spurs were behind for 2 reasons: a bit of good play for the first goal by Liverpool, and a damn mistake. You can't let it slip for mistakes. That's number one.
True.
The Salah goal was a nice bit of play, but Liverpool ran out the whole time. That's the one time it actually came off.
That was a very good goal, though.
And Spurs had their moments when Bentancur hit the post or something like that. Perisic, right, from the header. So Spurs had a couple other good moments in these situations in the first half as well before Liverpool ultimately got the second goal. So I didn't think that Spurs were ultra defensive against Liverpool.
Okay.
I think Liverpool started better, right? A lot better. Liverpool played the game. Liverpool had like this pattern of play where they were coming down the right. The ball got to Trent. Trent played the ball in the Salah or Elliott on that side. And what Liverpool were doing is that relying on the movement and the dropping of Bobby to then play the ball into the center of the pitch, right? If a player gets in vocal position, following Elliott, and Bobby could let the ball, and then switch to the left where he would let Thiago, and then switch to the left, right? And that's how the goal came. Ball went that same pattern, play left for Robertson. Robertson crosses, Nunez, gets a hold of it, lifts his head, sees Salah, makes the pass, it's goal.
Side note, probably Nunez's best game.
I would say so, but I think Nunez is raw. He's a threat, but I think Nunez's issue now is gaining composure in front of goal. But not against a trap. In terms of the second goal, they're bad header. So I forgive Tyrone Mings. If that's what could happen, then fine.
All of a sudden, you got forgiveness for Tyrone Mings because you see Eric Dyer do basically the same thing.
That was a tongue-in-cheek comment.
Right.
It really was. But anyway, that being said, right, a poor header, right?
What he was trying to do though?
I'm not really.
Probably pass it
sure.
back to Lloris.
I'm not entirely sure, no.
Because that was strange.
Because it was a strange.
Yeah.
It was a strange shape to know how he put his body plan and stuff like that to get the connection, and Moore was in position to profit from it. Thank God. And then, like you correctly said, Liverpool could have gotten the third before Spurs ultimately got the.
Could not believe Salah missed that.
The first goal, but my argument in terms of Spurs and their supposed defensive approach, and it always be this thing like release the shackles of the team or whatever the case would be. What Conte did differently, because if you look at the Spurs lineup, what Conte didn't have was that Perisic in number 10 role wasn't really effective. But what Conte didn't have in the first half at least was that he didn't have any pace to run in behind of Liverpool, and that was the issue. So when you brought on Kulusevski, right, who was more willing to do that, right, and more willing to play the ball a bit more, fast and direct, that's where you get Harry Kane dropping and then making the occasional running behind, and Kulusevski for sure, and more on those guys making the runs in behind. Now Tottenham, like I said, again, it's all about the context of the game. Liverpool are not going to come out with the same aggression or intensity either, because Liverpool will be like, we got 2 goals. If we get a third and kill the game, that's the plan. But we ain't necessarily got to go and push anything, right? The whole mindset with Liverpool would be not to concede in the first 10 to 15 minutes and a half and give Spurs that lift, which ultimately they got. But the goal came because the ball came out the right hand side again, came at a run. Konate on that one occasion was a bit too slow to come across and cover, and Kane is very good at that nice little snapshot into the far corner.
Yeah,
and then the other means of attack that Spurs did, which, as we know, like I said, Trent is the party. Trent can be the party offensively, or he can be the party from the defensive end. Trent is the party, though. The balloons, the hats, whatever you want. The whistles. Trent is the party.
Oh boy.
The plan was, build the ball at the left hand side, the right hand side, and switch it to the left. And if it looked good, a lot of times Trent misjudged, deflect the ball. I saw how to come across and help you, right? But that was the way Spurs were getting out of the ball and crossing the ball from that position.
I could also think of 2 occasions where in that second half, Spurs could have probably won the game. The 2 headers, Longley and Bentancur, but Bentancur misses.
Longley, what a miss from that corner. And like you said, and then the Hurricane flick on that. Too many back at the back post.
Yeah. But that's my thing.
So I said, that was Liverpool were clinging on. I mean,
but it still goes back to my point. Like, I get it. Obviously, you're a goal or 2 down. You gotta come and play to get a point, get something for the game.
Right, you gotta risk something.
For me, where's that little bit more risk when they're not chasing the game? Like, where I just, as I said, this is coming off watching, because I think they did a similar thing against Newcastle.
Right.
They did it against Marseille. They did it against Sporting. It seems to be a pattern. Like, just take a little bit more risk. Not expose yourself, but you have. This is a Liverpool side that is in no form. Your form is patchy at best. Right. Wins, losses, draws. We don't know what we're gonna get. why not try to start on the front for and put Liverpool under pressure?
Mm-hmm.
But there's another
But like I
talking
said,
point though.
I don't know. I'm not going to necessarily say that because I mean, at home you're not going to. It's not like you're. Spurs is not a small side. So it's not like you're going to say, well, Liverpool have the ball. I just think it's a simple matter where Liverpool initiated play, and were able to implement their style better than Spurs was. Because Spurs had their moments, but Liverpool, were the more fluid in the first. Because Liverpool got to go relatively early, right?
Yeah, like I can't remember, but
it was early though. It was early. So Liverpool was able, and then from that moment you're a little bit more calm in the game. Then Spurs came into it because Liverpool had a couple sloppy moments where the ball was being turned over quite easily, and Spurs had their moment, and then Liverpool had a mistake from there, which then gives you a real foothold in the game that you can really, okay, I got somebody to defend here. Because I think Liverpool expected, and you should expect Tottenham will come back, or Tottenham will at least make an attempt to get into the game and be more adventurous, so to speak.
Okay. Well, that was the only big news surrounding Liverpool this week.
Oh yes, I almost forgot about this topic.
That's why I'm here.
Oh Lord, go ahead. Let me sip my water.
So today or yesterday it got announced?
Yesterday.
Yesterday it was announced that FSG, using their words, are open for investments. But really and truly, the club potentially up for sale.
Right.
As a Liverpool fan, what are your thoughts?
It's a wait and see. I have enjoyed FSG as owners. First and foremost, it's been a pleasure to have them.
Obviously, the player Jurgen Klopp.
Anyhow, it's been nice. It has been enjoyable. It has been a really, really good last 7 or 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've led the club for 12 years in total. So they're open to potential investment, but as we know, I think if a good enough offer comes, they might probably relinquish the club entirely.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. But right now, to me, I find that with FSG, I would say that they have been quite honorable, and I like when they've made mistakes, they have apologized.
The Super League.
And other things too. They had occasions where they were trying to increase ticket prices and stuff. A situation where they have, not decisions that they have taken that have not always
gone on
well with Liverpool fans, and they have, held their hands up and taken accountability for it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give them the benefit of doubt. I'm going to take them at their word and accept that, their preferred option is just to have no investment or open to, selling some stakes in the asset or whatever the case will be. But in terms of the sale, as it is with any sale, you just hope that if that develops and if that unfolds, that whoever takes charge of the club will run it in the best way possible, right? And would be an owner who, has the right people around them that can make football decisions and stuff like that, So we'll see where this goes, But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Nothing more to really add.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add either. I wasn't really shocked, but I just think it's interesting on the heels of Chelsea's sale as well. I saw a journalist tweet that maybe that could have factored into seeing how much money Chelsea were able to go for. And we know Liverpool is the bigger club.
Right.
So maybe that,
What is wrong with you?
I mean, I said Liverpool's the bigger club, and you just trained your best to hold in the grip. I could admit that Liverpool is the bigger club. I don't have a problem admitting that.
Fair play to you.
Yeah, I'm a real football.
Fair play to you.
I'm a realist.
I knew there was a reason that I liked you, but fair play to you.
I don't need to hide behind anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so I feel like, how much did Chelsea go for? 2.3 billion or something like that? I can't remember the exact number, but, maybe they saw that and like, I mean, we've had a good run, 12 years, you say. Maybe it's time to, because I think they bought it for what was it? 300 million or something? Million. They will make a real profit, so.
Yeah, 300 million was the sale price.
Maybe they feel they don't have whether it's the desire or the money to keep, investing in club, and they want to give it to somebody who can invest more. Well, we'll see. But
I even if it ultimately happens, I feel that at least initially it'll probably be just someone to come and invest.
Right.
And then I think maybe like what happened with or what was about to happen with Arsenal at one point where, somebody who already had a stake in the club tried to take it over.
Okay.
I feel like that might be more likely than just an outright sale.
Okay.
But like I said,
Time
we'll
will
see.
tell.
I will only hope and pray that the new owners, if that is what indeed happens, run the club in the best possible way.
Yeah.
And we're, still able to be competitive.
Yeah.
And not become, Mike Ashley Newcastle or something.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think
That would really hurt my pride.
I think you I think you see that because that was something that Abramovich made sure of. I know that Todd Bowley is getting a lot of criticism, but a lot of people outside of Chelsea don't know the things that he's doing in the background in terms of structure, making sure we have the right people in the correct positions in place. So when Abramovich was forced to sell the club, that was one of the things that he wanted to make sure of, that
Right.
the next owner had the best interest of the club at heart and will run it well. So I think FSG has been there, not as long as Abramovich, but they seem to care about Liverpool, as you say, and I think they'll probably make sure of the same thing too.
Yeah, they have been good owners, I think,
Yeah.
overall.
But I don't want to see, if y'all get American investors or owners, I don't really want to see this kind of, there's an American bias I find by certain elements of the UK media.
Right.
I don't want to see that. Everybody's not the Glazers. Everybody's not the Cronkies. Cronkies are American, right?
Yeah.
Right. Everybody's not them. So just be willing to give it a chance. And see how the owners do, and not be slating them in the media at every turn.
Fair enough. All right, so I think, just a quick mention.
Mm-hmm.
There's been another managerial sacking in the Premier League today. Ralph Hasenhüttl
I found that
has
funny.
unfortunately lost his job.
I'm sorry, but if you don't get sacked after 2 9-0s,
It was 2-0.
it wasn't so.
I don't know. You talk this season, or you talking about in general?
In general,
Okay.
Leicester beat them 9-0.
Leicester beat them 9-0, and
Then
then
they had another one.
they had another one, but I can't remember against. I think it was
I can't
Tottenham
remember.
or somebody.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Spurs. It was somebody though.
It was somebody though. Yeah.
If you don't get sacked after 2 9-0s, you get sacked the man after. Who they lost? Oh, who they lost against?
I can't remember who they lost against.
Was
I
it
think it was.
Bournemouth?
Wasn't it the same Leicester?
I lost. I can't remember.
I think Leicester beat them 4-0.
No, Leicester play Everton.
Oh yeah, Leicester played Everton. So who they lost against? They played Leicester recently though. But who they lost
I
against?
can't remember. Let me check quick.
Check it.
So I just found it funny. You ain't get sacked after 9-0, but you get sacked after that. It just was interesting to me. What do you think of the sacking?
I'm a little surprised.
Oh, Newcastle. I mean,
Newcastle,
come
right?
on.
Newcastle, right? I know it's 4-0 against
But
somebody.
Newcastle is playing well.
But I mean, right? I don't think it's because of the defeat against Newcastle. I simply
Yeah.
think it's because of their Premier League position and the desire to avoid relegation from the Premier League,
Yeah.
which is money. So I think that's all that is, simply put. But I'm a little surprised in the sense that I always felt as though Hasenhüttl always had you believing that someone have a chance to
Yeah.
avoid ultimately going down. So
Yeah.
and he's proven it over the last 2 seasons where he's kept them up. So I was a little bit.
He's
I
been
mean-
the manager for almost 3 or 4 years or something like that.
Yes, so it just shows you that no
one
more
is
job is
safe.
ever completely entirely safe, as you said. All right, let's have some Champions League reaction. The draw was made, and we're not going to predict the ties right now, but we're just simply going to react to the draws. How do you feel about the? Well, let me call out the draws if I can find it on my.
I have them. If
You have them? All right, go ahead. You call them out then.
So Leipzig versus City. City always get a favorable round of 16 draw.
That the benefit of winning your group.
All right. Bayern win their group and draw PSG. Okay then.
Most of the time.
Anyways.
Most of the time. Most of the time, it's benefit of winning a group. We get a favorable draw. Okay?
Club
You're going to go
Club
there.
Bruges and Benfica.
Mm-hmm.
Liverpool and Madrid.
All right.
AC Milan and Tottenham.
Mm-hmm.
Frankfurt versus Napoli. Dortmund versus Chelsea. Inter Milan versus Porto. And PSG versus Bayern.
Mm-hmm.
So what stands out for you?
Definitely the repeat is last year's final, unfortunately.
Of course it was.
Yeah, that's the glamour fixture. Bayern PSG should be a good one as well. Should be an interesting watch. And is there anything else that stands out? I guess I would like to see Dortmund and Chelsea. I think that would be an interesting game. But like I said, a lot depends on.
Jude Bellingham is going to love Chelsea's midfield.
Interesting, but a lot of it depends on where each team is when those games play. Those games are going to be played in February.
Yeah.
and start of March. So I mean, like that's long.
A lot. That's why it really makes sense
Predicting
anything
exactly.
right now.
So
I think for me, AC Milan versus Spurs is another one that I look forward to for sure.
okay.
Yeah. Considering Tottenham barely scrape out that group, I think that's going to be an interesting tie. But honestly, these ties look magnificent. I mean, I cannot believe Liverpool Real Madrid is a round of 16 draw tie.
Yeah, I mean,
I
but
really
it was
look forward
possible
to that.
because the only teams that we could have played would have been Benfica, Porto, Bayern, or Real, based on the fact that you can't play boyfriend group and you can't play English teams.
Yeah.
So those are the only possible draws that we could have gotten. I definitely didn't want Bayern. I mean, I could have done it for Real too, but whatever. Beggars can't be choosers. So it is Real Madrid. I think it's at Anfield first, and then you go to Bernabeu, and we'll see. We'll see what.
I think Real Madrid and beat one of them.
I think that's what everybody would think. I know news. You're not.
What do you think?
What do you think? What I think. I will tell you what I think come February. No.
All right.
We'll see. I will have to see what position Liverpool are in. Squad ways, fitness ways, farm ways to make an informed, decision as to what position what chances we have. But obviously, I think Real,
probably
start
start favorites. Yeah.
Probably definitely start favorites.
Yeah.
They've made a better start this season. They beat us in the final last year. They're overwhelming favorites. Vinicius must be doing so. Come train is a party, and everybody, I know Brazilians like the time parties. Train is a party.
Oh.
But because of Liverpool, because you're a competency manager, because Liverpool still have big players, Trent included, Virgil, Salah, Liverpool will have a chance, I suppose, especially over 2 games. But we'll see. All will be played for.
Gosh, I would have loved a Liverpool Bayern round 16.
Would you?
That man, stick to it on the crawl.
But that ain't gonna make me feel any worse about Mane. Mane's my boy.
I know, but I know it would still hurt you though.
Ain't gonna hurt me. It's football.
All right.
And it's Sadio.
All right.
I don't got a problem. I don't have no issue with Sadio. Sadio gave me 6 wonderful years. 6 wonderful years, man. Tormenting teams like Arsenal and other teams among that. Sadio was great for Liverpool. I don't think any Liverpool fan should have any negative thing to say about Sadio. Even if Liverpool played Bayern at any point in his Bayern career and Bayern got the better of the fixture, there's nothing to be salty about.
Okay, cool. PSG versus Bayern. I think that's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Just for the simple fact that PSG got a couple superstars and Bayern right now, are playing really, really well.
Yeah, they are.
So we'll see again, February, long way to go. We'll see what happens when that game rolls around.
Just a side note, do you think that rule should change that in the round? Because you could play aside from your home country from
the last 8 onwards.
Right. Do you think it should change?
No. Because then I think we're changing. I get to play City. I'm making enough sport. You making enough sport, huh? But you want your group, right? Or you could play me. You don't ever want to play me. I just don't ever want to play you. So that's what it is. But if it's to play me, you'll play me next round. If it's to play me, you think you'll beat Dortmund ultimately?
In the farm we in right now, no. But as you said, February is a long way away. But I think, gosh, we need our players back for that. If we don't have our key players back for that, no. That's my assessment. I think as I said, Jude Bellingham will love Chelsea's midfield.
Interesting. I hope that I am not inclined come February or March to come on here and sing the Beatles "Hey Jude."
Oh my gosh!
I really wasn't just to annoy you.
The day you sing, I'll be walking right off.
That your business. Like I said, the show must go on. Number 1 rule in show business: the show shall go on. Me and Shot will move from producer to co-host, and Shot will come there, and we will carry on the show.
Rolling my.
That is exactly what's gonna happen.
Anyways, moving swiftly on.
Let's move swiftly on. Cricket?
Sure.
Or you want to do, before we go to cricket, or you want to do Premier League predictions first?
Oh, right. Forget about that.
Shot, and then go to cricket.
Premier League predictions. This is the last set of games to the World Cup, right?
Yes.
All I can say is thank God.
Interesting.
I just need a break from Chelsea Football Club.
You sure Germany is the right Brit?
No, you know.
Wouldn't be good, man.
Oh gosh.
I mean, better than the team that I used to support.
From one disappointment to the next. Bet England do better than Germany this World Cup.
I bet not. How much you want to bet? Want to bet a case of plus, or saying? Is it a case of plus? Was your drink a choice?
Let me think about it first. Let me see the squads, then think about it, and then I'll let you know.
Call the predictions.
City at home to Brentford. Saturday early morning kickoff.
3-0.
Will not begin to watch that.
3-0 City.
The struggle past for them at the weekend.
They had a mass enough.
Yeah, I know.
Fulham give it that game though.
I guess I'll go 3-0 too.
Okay.
Liverpool at home to Southampton.
That's my somehow change the manager.
Please. Make a bit of difference.
I am going to go Liverpool 1-0.
1? 1?
I'm humble. Just get 3 points and go to Iraq. I got the break. 3 points is the most important thing.
You might say
So
1-0
1-0.
against Southampton.
1-0. Listen.
my gosh.
Listen a minute. When we talk predictions, right? Are we aiming to get the scoring right, or are we just aiming to get the result right?
Well, I would say result is obviously the bonus.
Okay.
Obviously is the most important thing. The scoreline is a bonus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, good. Well, I predict Liverpool win. Hopefully, fingers crossed. 1-0.
Yeah. Liverpool 3-0. Comfortable winners.
Okay. All right.
Then again, every time I predict a comfortable win for Liverpool, is always really opposite. When I predict a tight win, one of those get it. But I'll still go with 3-0.
You're a wicked woman.
Spurs at home to Leeds.
Ooh. Spurs to 1.
2-2.
I fancy Spurs 2-1. Okay.
Chelsea away at Newcastle.
Ooh. I actually fancy Newcastle minutes 2-1. I'm so sorry.
I can't predict this game because if I predict how I think it's gonna go, that would be 3 losses on the bounce. Like, oh my gosh. We ain't gonna win this game. We are not gonna win this
Yeah,
game.
this get a point.
I can't even say we ain't get a point either. Honestly, you look at Newcastle and Chelsea right now is like chalk and cheese in form. Oh gosh, but I cannot come here and say Chelsea can lose 3 consecutive games. I cannot. So you know what? 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw.
That's more auto hope than anything else. Honestly, I think it can be a loss, but oh gosh, Arsenal we at Wolves.
This Julian, we name again.
Lopetegui.
Thank you. He's pronounced that name so well.
You're welcome.
You know, appreciate it. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
I will go for 2-1 Arsenal win.
2-1. 2-0. 2-0 or 3-0.
Okay.
Wolves ain't scoring. Wolves can't score no goals, man. Although, new manager.
Right, we gotta see how your team look first.
True.
Well, not how your team look. I don't think he can change match in the space of a week, but still. He might get a reaction.
I'd go Arsenal 2-0 though.
Okay.
Man United away at Fulham.
I got Man U to win that game. I'll go for 3-1 Man U win.
Fulham to win 2-1.
Well. Wait. On the basis, what are you basing that on? I have to ask.
Well, my gut instinct told me that Aston Villa would have beat them last week, and my gut instinct telling me that Fulham could beat them too. I think Man United are going to struggle away from home against half decent sides, to be honest. And Fulham are more than a half decent side. Once Mitrovic is back, though, if Mitrovic isn't back, I think Man United will win.
Okay.
Because I think he had a small injury against City. Well, that kept him out of the City game. But I think Fulham could get a result. I do.
Okay.
I feel that.
I still think Man U will. Shit it.
I got a strong feeling that all of my predictions can be wrong though. That just come in my mind, but we'll see.
So I mean, you think that Liverpool and lose somehow?
I ain't getting that far. It could be a draw.
I know. Draw the name for Liverpool right now.
Sure, boy.
Right. Cricket time.
We're on the World Cup.
Time to back my ball. All right, so we're at the semi-final stage of the T20 World Cup.
T20 World Cup is winding down. Honestly, it has been the best T20 World Cup. I know West Indies won 2 T20 World Cups, but in terms of sheer entertainment and quality, I've just enjoyed this World Cup. We had another upset. Netherlands totally just dumped South Africa right out of the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Got me look like an idiot because they called South Africa a dark horse.
Idiot.
Oh my gosh.
I can't remember if I said it on
Yes, you
episode.
talk about how...
So far, also a bad game. I thought the bad game would come in semis, but not in the Netherlands game. But anyhow,
like, man, South Africa, man, come on!
I know the cricket.
You cannot go out of a tournament with a bowling attack like that. You cannot. I just find it, honestly though, I was so surprised because Saturday nights I usually, especially if they got cricket on in some form, I would usually cook on Saturday night instead of Sunday morning. So I was in the kitchen. I realized time to watch the cricket. I went and checked the toss report. I see South Africa choose the field. And I found it a strange decision. It was the first morning game in Australia time. Sun was out bright, shiny. It's a must-win game. Put runs on the board. Netherlands ain't got nothing to lose. If they win, they get automatic entry into the next round. And as expected, Netherlands just came out and started in the power play fearlessly. And it was like, Bavuma, what you doing, man? Win the toss, bat first in a must-win game, and put them under pressure immediately. But and then the batting performance was just limp. I was like, South Africa, jeez, man.
Anyhow, the semifinals are we start with New Zealand versus Pakistan, and then we move on to India versus England. Before we go to the semifinals,
New Zealand versus Pakistan is first tomorrow?
I think so. I believe so. I think so, yeah. I think India and England is the second game. But before I move on to the semifinals, let me just say, I said South Africa always has a bad game in them. We've seen it. We've seen it in the FIFA game. We've seen it in the Champions Trophy. We've even seen it in the T20 World Cup. Listen, you gotta stop. Yeah,
their bad game was supposed to be against Pakistan, not against the Netherlands.
Listen, that you think about bad game, you don't know who it's coming against, but you know it's coming.
Man.
But anyway, South Africa are out. I think my predictions in terms of who I thought were the favorites are still in all three.
No, not all three.
I said Australia. I said New Zealand, India, and I said
you did not say India.
I said India.
You said India. No. You said Australia.
I said India. We can check by tape, no?
I can check right now. You did say I called them. Remember you said Australia, England, and then I said you were thinking India.
I said New Zealand my first choice.
No, that's how it went. I guessed what you were thinking. I said Australia, England, and then I said India. But then you say no, and then they say no, it's New Zealand, and then you say yes.
Right. And I corrected the order. I said New Zealand is my first choice.
Tiny point, but you said Australia, England, and New Zealand, not India. You don't call it India?
Remember I said I touch on going India? Because remember I said between India and somebody else.
Were Australia, England, and New Zealand.
Anyhow, but I did mention India. When you try to say I mentioned India.
Yes, but you could have only choose three.
Like, because we pushed my hand and I said, all right. Because based on what you said, remember I said you watch more cricket than me. So based on what you said, I ultimately meant for Australia. But I was thinking about India all the time. Thinking about them. Not qualified. Anyway, 2 or 3 ain't bad.
I can send you a clip of this here.
2 out of 3.
I can send you a clip of what he said. And you can put it in.
And you put it back?
I can put it in.
Oh, but remember I corrected the order, right? And I said New Zealand was my first choice.
It matter, but
it matters.
You started this segment by saying all 3 of your predictions are still in.
Because I said India.
No, you did not.
I told you that I was topsy-turvy. And then you forced my hand and said and I eventually went with
When we go Australia. Off air, I am going to find this and show you.
Well, anyway, I did not say India was like...
No.
Really? Anyway, anyhow. As I was saying.
You always got me on here arguing like a damn married couple.
It's true. I don't know what you don't learn to agree with me.
Because you's be wrong.
I don't have to be wrong. I go, if I ever out shirt next time. Even when I wrong, I right. You understand me? Tell you, even when I wrong.
You just digging yourself the hole for when they find this for shot to put in.
Listen, even if you find it, I still right. Anyway, right. The point
I feel
is
sorry for
right.
you. Anyways.
What you feel sorry for?
Nothing.
Wait, what you gonna say?
Nothing.
You sure want to say?
I sure.
All right. Come on, things.
I want to bring she into this. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. As I was saying.
But I feel sorry for your future wife, though. Honestly.
Oh, you guys.
Honestly.
I thought you want to bring she into this.
I ain't calling she name. I just say I feel sorry for she, though. If that's your attitude.
I mean, I agree with you.
Oh, okay.
But
All right.
even
Actually,
then,
you know what? I can accept that because
I-
I prefer you to have an actual with me than your future wife.
But the thing is, right? I even feel sorry for myself because you our friend that she could call, and then you all gang up on me and well, Andrew shouldn't have done that. You
No,
shouldn't have
if
said
I
that.
believe you're wrong, I will say you're wrong. But if I believe you're right, I'll say you're right.
But you just said half the time you're wrong.
Yeah, but
Anyway.
if I have to tell you you're wrong, you're wrong.
That ain't necessarily true though. But anyway,
Anyways,
wait, cricket. Back to all
look
cricket.
at homies just get distracted.
You distract me. I
ADHD
was,
people.
being very clear and direct about what I wanted to say, and then here comes Marissa. Anyhow,
But you were wrong. I had to correct you.
and
All right. All right.
let's start with the India versus Pakistan fixture.
Mm-hmm. New
How do you-
Zealand versus
sorry, my
Pakistan.
bad. See, you got me all kerfuffle. New Zealand versus Pakistan fixture. How do you see this one going?
This is gonna be so. Who bowls better will win this game.
Okay.
This has been a World Cup for the bowlers, I find,
Mhm.
and I've loved it. I've loved, and it's not that the pitches have been overly bowler friendly. It's
Mhm.
just that the balance between bat and ball has been just perfect.
Right.
And I think that whoever bowls better will win this game. I think you have two very good attacks. Pakistan's attack is probably better on paper.
Mhm.
But of course, you've got the experience of both on Southie up top. I think the key battle, I know who bowls better will win, but I think thinking about it even deeper, Bowl and Southie versus Babar and Rizwan is going to be a key battle, in my opinion.
Mhm.
But Pakistan lower order, middle to lower order have stood up in recent games, got them to the semi-finals, surprisingly, after how they started. But I don't know. I feel, like I told you on the way here, I just feel like this World Cup got India-Pakistan final written all over it, and Pakistan to win the World Cup. I honestly believe.
So that's your prediction? Pakistan winning World Cup?
Yep. I actually tweeted it. I said, if Pakistan managed to sneak in the semifinals, this was after the South Africa loss, because
Right,
the Pakistan-Bangladesh game was basically a quarterfinal. So I was like, if Pakistan get in semifinals, I think they'll go all the way, to be honest. So yeah, I think Pakistan will win it. I would prefer New Zealand because out of all the teams left in the tournament, I would love if New Zealand wins it.
Mhm.
New Zealand is everybody's second team.
Right.
Well, all right, in your case, first team.
Mhm.
Rolling my eyes.
There were.
Right. So I would want New Zealand to win, but I think Pakistan will win tomorrow.
Okay. And you kind of like cover your England prediction because you said India will win. Because you said you saw a Pakistan India final.
Yeah, but
So we
I
can
still
get that.
think I just think in terms of the script, that's why I say India Pakistan final, because it's basically a repeat of that game at the beginning of the tournament that Pakistan should have won.
Right.
So that's why I say the script is written for Pakistan to write their rounds. The script is written. That India England semi-final is tough to call though, because you have England, who are such a versatile team. Like, they can play in so many different ways. They have so many different bowlers, so many different batsmen. And India key batsmen, with the exception of Rohit Sharma, are in form. And their bowling is looking good. That's a tough semi to call. Tough to call. In a dream world, I would love a New Zealand. But then again, if you have a New Zealand-England final, that's like a rematch of the 2019 World Cup.
It will be.
Man, so many stories.
All right, so let me just cut you chase. I'm gonna stick with my original prediction. New Zealand to win it all. I think New Zealand will ultimately beat Pakistan. I think it'll be a close game though. I think both semifinals will be close games.
Yeah.
India England is a more difficult one for me to call because I just feel I feel New Zealand has the more well-rounded team, a deeper lineup than Pakistan does. So
I agree.
That's why I'm giving New Zealand the edge in that one. In terms of India versus England, again, I think it depends on the conditions and whether or not they suit England or not. I think when conditions favor England, they can almost put you out of the game, within the first innings of the match. So that a lot is going to be dependent on that. But I still believe India will beat England or go on that limb, and I will suggest that we'll have a New Zealand versus India final. And I think New Zealand will ultimately win it on home soil. Well, somewhat home soil.
Oh gosh, that would be painful for the Australians. Actually, what would be more painful for the Australians if England win on their home soil, or if New Zealand win on their home soil?
I think if England win on their home soil.
I don't know. I just feel like I would like to see captains that win the toss back first. I think semi-final, pressure game, trust your bowling attack. I think it should win toss and bat first, but I think they're going to be two very good games, though. Very, 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 very good games. And I'm looking forward to it. As I said, I would like New Zealand to win it all, but I just got this sneaky feeling that Pakistan will win it all.
I think New Zealand or India will win. Obviously, I got my final prediction. So
okay.
I can't see. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I can't see. Even if it's a repeat of Pakistan versus India, that opening game, Pakistan is always contrary to lose to get to India. So I can't see Pakistan beating India.
Well, they did beat them in the Asia Cup.
Okay. The one cup and the boy don't watch.
I just watch it though. Well, sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I think India. I think India would beat Pakistan if that was the final.
I don't know. When I look at the bowling attacks, on paper, Pakistan has the best bowling attack of the four teams. If they get, and Babar and Rizwan are due for runs. So I don't know. I just have this like when you literally almost 3/4 of the way out of the tournament and you manage to scrape in, that's a dangerous side to play. I just got a sneaky feeling about Pakistan. But soft spot, I would love New Zealand to win. New Zealand deserves a limited overs trophy after that farce in 2019. They still ain't over that, you know.
We're not gonna get into that on this episode.
Oh gosh, let's not.
But
then you really get me fired up.
But I'm gonna hand it over to you to wrap it up. Can I have the final word, as you often like to do? Floor is yours,
No,
Marissa.
that's you.
No. Floor is yours.
Well, thank you for joining us on another episode of The Dugout. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. And follow us on our Instagram handle, the Dugout_podcast. You can also find us on Instagram at our individual handles. And you can find me on Twitter as well. I like to tweet a lot about cricket, mostly cricket. Sometimes I get a little too emotional to be tweeting about football. But yeah, you can find us there. And I hope that you join us next time, because I think next week the T20 World Cup final would have been played. And we'll see who was right. And that's it for us. So thank you for joining us and see you next time.
Goodbye.